yeah, but I can see my sexy face now.
You don't want to see that, trust me. Don't do this again. You scumbag. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you sure you're ready?
Yeah.
You ready for all this, Toby?
You're ready for this?
Oh my god.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of the Nintendo Playstation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Toby Thornton. What is up, Toby?
What is up, Bobby?
How's that bottle doing?
What? What?
I just wanted to say bottle, because I can say bottle pretty good as like a British guy.
Bottle.
Bottle. It's
water.
I can get it good, man. I can get it good.
Water in Gibraltar don't taste like what it oughta.
What? How you doing, man?
I'm not doing too good, Bobby. Because
why?
See, I've had this problem with a tire on my car.
Oh boy!
Since I bought it. And it had like a very, very slow leak, like extremely slow. Like every 2 or 3 weeks, it would go down to 20 psi, and I'd have to pump it back up. And a couple of months ago, I had all 4 of my tires changed, and the problem got worse.
Okay.
So I am thinking it's the tire valve, like where you put the air in. So, now it's like every 2 or 3 days, I have to pump it up. So I bought myself a tyre valve replacement kit, and I bought it last week. It arrived last weekend, and I didn't have time to do it. So I thought I'll do it this weekend. I got time. But can I find it? No. It's totally gone missing, man. And I searched the entire bungalow. I have been in and out of my car 5 times. I went in the garage. I'm looking in places it would never be because, that's what happens when you look for things. You start looking for things in stupid places. And I can't find it. And in the process of looking for it, I lost my phone for like 15 minutes. And I'm panicking. I'm like, where the hell is my phone gone? Karina's trying to ring it. Can't find it. It turns out it was in my pocket and it fell out of my pocket when I was looking in the car. So I went back out to the car and it was just on the back seat. I'm losing my marbles.
You officially become an old man. You realize that, right? Like you're starting to do stuff that old people do. Yeah,
and like we've been doing a puzzle, like a physical puzzle. I've been making apple crumble. I'm aging too fast for me. Help me.
It all happened. Listen, kick Eevee out. That's when it all started. Everything was wonderful, and then you got Eevee, and now all hell's breaking loose.
Yeah.
I think it's time to send her packing.
Yeah.
Send her back. Send her and Karina back, and then you come to the United States, and we'll find your youth again.
I look forward to that, boy.
I can only say that stuff because Karina doesn't listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Because if she did, you'd be like strung up.
I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, you'd be in big trouble.
Yeah.
She doesn't know half the stuff that goes on. Is she home today or is she?
Yeah, she's home.
You know what? No, this is not. Get her out of the house, man. It's supposed to be our time, and she's there.
Well, she's in the other room.
It doesn't matter, man. You can't be...
And Evie's napping anyway, so we didn't want to have to get her up and get her out.
You know what? Enough of this nonsense. And I gotta say this. I'm a little annoyed with Chelsea Capri, man.
What's that?
Sean wants to name the baby Bobby, and she won't do it.
Is it a boy then?
No, it's a girl.
Oh.
she was to name her Bobby Capri, and Chelsea's like, no. And I'm like, why, man? And this was totally Sean's idea. Like, he likes the name, and he wants to name her Bobby Capri. No. Not even to think about it. It's a no.
It's a
flat
beautiful
out.
name, Bobby.
Huh?
It's a beautiful name.
It is. Bobby Capri is a really nice name.
Yeah.
It just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it does.
Bobby Marie Capri. That would be an amazing name.
Man.
That'd be
That
an
would be
amazing
actually.
name.
I like that a lot.
I like it a lot. I don't understand what her problem is, man. I thought we were friends, but apparently we're not. Maybe if you approach her, Toby, and be like, you know what, Chelsea, I think a really beautiful name would be Bobby Capri.
I might just do that.
And cause she likes you and she listens
Yeah.
to you. She thinks
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
very smart because of the accent. So maybe
I am smart, Bobby. Not just because of my accent.
I don't know about that, Toby, but you know, whatever.
I'm an intelligent man, Bobby.
I don't know.
I can
about
count
that.
to 10, all right?
Well, okay. All right, then. I guess that just makes you the smartest man in the world because you can count to 10. Let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs.
With our Geek Outs, Bobby.
You're so melodramatic loser. Toby, what are you geeking out about this week?
I'm geeking out about... right, so I've talked... this has been a Geek Out previously, but my Geek Out is evolved, Bobby.
Oh, boy.
So, a year or two ago, you may remember there was this guy making his very own Zelda maker.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo shut his butt down,
Mm-hmm.
slapped him down, said, nope, you don't use our assets, you bad boy.
Yeah.
So he took out the Nintendo assets and he made his own graphics and he called it Legend Maker.
Okay.
And he put out a demo and it was like, you know, kind of similar in style to Zelda, similar look to the Game Boy games. And then he sort of evolved it again into this thing called Adventure Maker. And it's basically Link's Awakening style. Like, it's that Game Boy look to it, but it's all in color and it's absolutely beautiful. And you know, if you just glanced at it, like looked at a video, you might actually just confuse it with the game, the Zelda game.
Wow.
And it's coming along now, dude. Like, you can get access to it if you pay $5 on their Patreon, or you can just wait until he releases it. But yeah, it's really exciting because he's doing lots of cool things with it. You know, it's a bit more advanced than you would expect. Like, you know, in Mario Maker, everything's kind of simple. You can kind of do AI type stuff, but not really.
Yeah.
But in this, like, you can sort of drag and drop things and program things. Like, there's a thing he's done called Bug Attract, where you can just place a little thing on a square and it will mean like moths and stuff fly towards that square. So you can make it atmospheric. You go into a dungeon, there's moths attracted to the flames on the walls and stuff like that. Yeah, and he's added co-op to it and all this different music. It's just really cool. You should check out the latest video he put on YouTube. It's Dream Mix is the YouTube channel.
Nah.
Now, Bobby, you'll love it. Trust me. You get excited for it.
It's doing nothing for me right now.
It's Zelda Maker, man.
You're talking. Listen. I don't like Mario Maker. Why would I like Zelda Maker?
You do. You used to love Mario Maker, and you know what? You love Chicken Wiggle Maker as well.
Yeah,
so you can just shut up, Bobby.
Yeah, you need to calm down. You need to relax over there. Did you back Chicken Wiggle?
The HD one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You scumbag.
I'm not saying I'm not going to buy it, Bobby.
You better buy it, man.
But I got the game already.
Did you?
So...
Yeah, but did you see? Did you see the video I put up this week?
I did.
And what do you think?
I think it looks nice.
That's right. I forgot you weren't a fan of the hand drawn stuff.
I like the pixel.
You like the pixel art, but you could do that. He's got it where you just
I know
flip
you
a button,
can switch
you
back.
flip it back and forth.
Yeah.
So I changed my geek out, Toby, because
You changed it. How dare you change it?
Because I felt like I didn't want to talk about it after, whatever. So originally, I sent Toby like a spoiler, and I told him this is going to be my geek out. Making a Murderer season 2 started, and but I'm going to talk about something else. But you're watching it, right? Are you happy with it so far, or no?
Episode 1 I've watched. Yes. Kind of happy, but not a lot going on yet. Slow build up.
Yeah. It ramps up. I'm just going to leave it at that.
But I'm just happy that it's back, because I love that.
That's a good show. But my geek out is I went to GameStop yesterday, right?
Right.
And I go to GameStop and I'm like looking around for stuff. And I'm not really like in the brand to buy. Like, I'm not in the mood to buy anything, but I kind of am. You know, it's one of those moods where like you want to get something you don't know you to get. So I look over and they got these cool little packs of coins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy one, right? Or I bought two. I grabbed 2 packs. They're blind packs.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl is like, oh, they're actually half off. I'm like, oh, well, I'll go grab a couple more. So I grab a bunch of them. They're Super Mario coins. So they're from the original Super
It's a
Mario.
bit blurry, boy.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a little bit blurry. Yeah, that's better. Yeah,
Okay.
that looks cool.
Yeah, so that's...
What are they made of? Plastic?
No, they're metal.
They're metal, aren't
They're
they?
metal. They're metal. There's Goomba.
Nice.
And then there's a whole bunch of them. Here's the mushroom I got.
They remind me of Pogs, Bobby.
They're pretty.
Like a slammer, like a big fat slammer.
They're metal, dude. They're awesome. They're really heavy too. But apparently there's a book you can get so there's a book with all different and you can put all the different coins in there. They were supposed to put out a Zelda set as well, but I guess they didn't do very well, so they stopped. But I don't know. But let's be honest. These were $3.99 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I went to, that's why I only bought 2. But then when I went to the counter, the girl was like, "Oh, they're half off." So then I went back and got more. But $3.99 is a little bit pricey. I can see why they didn't do it well. But they are really heavy, dude. I like them. I like them a lot.
Yeah, it's
so
kind of a cool collectible little trinket.
yeah, man, it's pretty neat. But
I don't like blind pack stuff that much, though.
I know, because I got 3 Princess Peaches.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with that?
I don't know, man. Who knows? Probably give them away to somebody.
Dude, you got problems.
I know.
You just go into a shop and buy random coins.
Listen, it's not a problem.
No real value.
I like
to
to.
them,
I'm a collector at heart, man. I like to collect. What do you want from me, man?
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. So, I changed my topic up as well on you.
Oh, really?
So I want
Thanks,
to.
Bobby.
So for the news, right? For the news section, I want to take my original topic I told you and kind of talk about that a little bit in the news.
All right.
So C&D, Captain Nintendo dude, had his 21st birthday last week. And in that, he did a live stream, 24-hour stream. And the idea was when it hit midnight, he was going to take a shot of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And then what he did was he switched it. At midnight, he was about to take the shot, and he was like, you know what? I don't want to take this because this is kind of like poison, and I'm not really into drinking. I think it's really bad for you. And he puts it down and slides it aside, and then he pulls out a bong and takes a bong.
Yeah, because that's not poison either.
So my question for you, or not my question, but like, I guess it raises questions because YouTubers immediately start doing videos and they're bashing him for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're saying like, well, you're supposed to be kid friendly, and you're doing this, and it's like, but when Alex actually put out a picture of his analytics, his main demographic is 18 to 34-year-old adults, men, and I mean, he does have kids that watch. It's no different than me. Like, I know I have little kids that watch.
You're a kid at heart, though, Bobby, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much. But most people that watch my stuff are 18 to 34 male. So it brings up the question of, is this okay? You know, when you you do even have kids watching. Because I know I find myself doing stuff sometimes in my videos, and I have to think afterwards. I'm like, man, was that okay to say or do? Because you know you do have kids that are watching. But how do you
try and
feel
keep the swears like at a minimum. You know, you click them out, don't you? So
I always do that. Yeah, I always do that, yeah.
But like, you know, it's not really that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. You know, he doesn't work for Nintendo.
Well, he is a brand ambassador.
What does that really mean, though?
That means that, like, Nintendo looks at him to, like, he quasi works for them. Meaning, when they get new stuff, they'll bring them they'll bring him in to try it out. They'll give him demos of games. They'll give him packages. Like Roger's Base. He's a brand ambassador. Gone to Chris is a brand ambassador.
Okay.
Miss Click is now a brand ambassador.
I don't know, really. I mean, I suppose if he wasn't doing it on video, like, why should anyone care what he gets up to in his own personal time? And I don't know, was that stream sort of targeted? I mean, it was on his channel, but like, was it promoted as a Nintendo stream?
No.
And really, like, a shot of alcohol or him doing a bong or whatever, like, I don't know. It's not like he's injecting heroin or anything, is it? Like, people.
Yeah, true.
People know about, people are educated enough to know the consequences of doing drugs and alcohol. I know that there are kids, the kids might be watching, but kids watch all sorts of things, man. Like, they watch far worse things than that, I'm sure. Yeah. And really, it's, their parents should know what they're watching and keep an eye on them and what they're into and stuff. So, as a brand ambassador, I don't know. It's not like he's known for it, is it?
Mm-mm.
I think people are probably just making a mountain out of a molehill, to be honest.
I think people are just trying to get content, and they're running with it. I
did type it into YouTube, C&D bong hit, and I found multiple videos with the thumbnail and then a big arrow pointing towards the bong, and then discussion about C&D, and you click on it and people are like having an internal debate about it, like it's some major thing. And I don't know, it's just bizarre to me.
The first person that did it, I felt like he is jealous. The first guy that did it actually did a video like 2 weeks ago where he got turned down to be a brand ambassador. And it's kind of ironic that now you are taking a shot at somebody that is a brand ambassador, because I feel like you're doing it because you didn't get the brand ambassadorship and you're just trying to, point the finger like, oh, well, look at him, look what he's doing. Why is he a brand ambassador and I can't be? Without saying that, but that's the way it comes off to me. You know what I mean? I don't really have a problem with weed. It's whatever, dude. It's my best friend in real life, Toby, used to work for a company that grew weed, and he was the head grower there. So in talking to him, like, I've found all these benefits for weed. Like, there's a lot of medical things that are really good with weed. So for me, it's just like, I don't care. It's like, whatever. I'm not an advocate for it. I don't smoke it. I feel like there's a lot of good benefits from it, so you might as well make it available to people. That's the way I feel. Like, this nonsense of like, let's hold things back because it's illegal. No, it's only illegal because they can't tax it. They can't.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're not really here to get a debate about should weed be legal.
No, like, I'm not even taking that debate. I'm just saying like, so that's why, like, for me, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But my bigger deal is him representing Nintendo. It makes it a little. Maybe he shouldn't have done this. He should have thought a little harder about it.
Perhaps it probably was a mistake, and I doubt he'll do it again.
No, I definitely.
But he got attention for it, so it's good for his numbers and all that. So I don't know. I mean, have Nintendo talked to him about it?
I don't think so. I don't think they have. But it'd be interesting if they did. To be honest with you, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Whatever. It is what it is. What about you? Got any news stories for us today, or?
So news stories. We've got Days Gone delayed. Even more Days Gone.
Oh my God.
Rockstar employees speak up about crunch concerns.
That's the one I want. I don't care about nothing else. That's the one I want. I was
going to say, Red Dead Redemption 2 comes on 2 discs.
Who cares about that?
Yeah, who cares? All right. So, this is from PushSquare.com. One of my favorite PlayStation websites for news and articles. Just getting it up. Here we go.
Yeah, that's fine. I know you have troubles getting it up sometimes.
Oh, you're mean. Oh, Bobby. Wow. All right, earlier this week, an interview with Rockstar co-founder Sam Houser sent shockwaves through the industry as he appeared to suggest that the studio had been working 100-hour work weeks in order to get the game out the door. Mm-hmm. He later clarified it was not entirely the case. Only the senior writing team, including himself, worked such intense schedules. So then there was a bit of backlash about it.
Of course.
So Rockstar decided they would let their staff talk about their experiences, without any, they were allowed to speak freely, basically, without any filter. So someone says here, I want to stress that this is my uncurated personal opinion. I am not being compensated for this post in any way, and I'm making it voluntary. I'm only going to speak to my personal experience. I have never worked more than maybe 50 hours a week. That's a rare occurrence, but I generally work 2 to 6 hours of paid overtime per week. A lot of employees seem frustrated that the company's name is being unfairly tarnished. Rockstar North's environment artist Wesley Mackinder said, "This week my Twitter timeline has been full of guff. I've been at Rockstar for 6 years and have never worked or been asked to work anywhere remotely close to 100 hours a week." He continued, "It's been surreal to see people share their crunch stories with the conclusion being, Rockstar needs to change. When I've just been reading them thinking, I'm so glad I work at Rockstar and haven't done anything like that. No one is pretending that working extra hours is fun. Everyone tries their hardest to avoid this, and in my experience, it has gotten better over time." And it goes on. There's basically lots of people that work at Rockstar are speaking out about the backlash, saying that it's not fair that they're judging the company and they're boycotting the game. They don't want to buy the game because they don't want to support practices like this. But it's kind of all blown out of proportion. It was just a senior writing team that decided to work that little bit extra towards the end, and it's kind of affecting all the employees negatively. So
we live in an effed up time, Toby. We really do. When this all started, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, the people that were doing it were the typical, I'm just going to call them San Francisco liberals, because that's what they are, essentially. But everybody just started grabbing it and going like, Rockstar should hire more employees and all this stuff. And I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, there's times when you're sometimes asked to do things as an employee that you do. Like, right now, I'm putting in a work week, easily 100 hours between my real job and this job that I do, right? Easily 100 hours a week between my editing and all that stuff, plus my real job, okay? But why do I do it? Because I see an end goal. I see a reason to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's something I want to achieve, so I'm making it happen and I'm doing it. When the last job that I worked at, right? Dude, I was on call 24/7. You remember? I'd be off on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And I would have to take a conference call, right? Or I'd be in the middle of the show and I'd have to stop the show to take a phone call. I'm pretty sure, this is my thing, when an employer tells you up front, this is what you're getting into, and you accept that job, there's no complaints. You can't complain about it. That's part of, if you complain, then leave. But
I disagree a little bit there, Bobby.
Okay, go ahead.
In terms of crunch in the gaming industry, where they're wrapping a game up, they need to get it out for a deadline, and a lot of employees have to come in and work these extra hours involuntary.
Yeah, but do you think they're not being paid for it?
They're being paid for it, Bobby, but it's affecting their personal life. It's affecting their,
anything to
their health.
That's anything, dude. That's anything, man. That's if
again. Yeah, but the thing is, Bobby,
if you're being paid for it, what I'm listen. I'm just from the mindset of if I'm getting paid for it, I don't care.
I think, I'm not saying it's always a bad thing. Like, working hard is important and being good at what you do is important. But I think the whole story here is that people are like saying, I'm not going to buy the game because I don't support these practices.
Yeah, but and what are you doing? You're hurting the same people you're trying to help.
You're hurting the people that work so hard in the game to begin with.
Yeah.
And,
go ahead.
It's just a bad thing, like, because it wasn't the truth for the entire company. It was only for a small amount of people.
And that's the point I was starting to get around to, was where it's these people that are mad at Telltale for what went down there, and now they're taking this and they're going, we need a union in the gaming industry, and these practices need to stop. Dude, Rockstar takes 5 years to make a game. They don't churn stuff out. Yeah, they don't churn stuff out every single year. When they take their time to make a game. Why? Because they want the quality to be there. They're not rushing. Crunch time is, you've set a deadline. It's going to come out October. Well, I'm using numbers. It's coming out October 29th. That's your deadline. So now you need to make sure that's done. The other thing too is, just because they're saying you're working 100 hours. This was my thing when I read that. When I was they're working 100 hours, I thought okay, probably some of the higher ups are, which is the case. But dude, you can split shifts. You know what I mean? A lot of times, bosses and employees, or bosses and owners, they don't want to spend. This is my problem, and this is where my problem is. Half the people that are complaining have never worked in the real world before, because in most jobs, right? You don't work 100 hours. They'll split the shifts. They'll go, okay, we're going to have these guys come in. They're going to stagger shifts. They're going to go, okay, you're going to come in at, 8 o'clock. You're going to work 8 to 5 or 8 to 4. And then we're going to bring people in at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And they're going to go a little bit later. And then these ones are going to come in. They're going to go a little later. So in the course of the week, yes, they're cranking out man hours. They're cranking out over 100 hours. And the management is typically the ones that are working the crazy hours. That's what I was getting into. Where when I worked in the floral industry, when I was doing the shipping and stuff, dude, I was putting during holidays. Dude, I was putting in over 100-hour weeks. But I wasn't compensated with overtime. I was getting comp pay, meaning any days that I worked that I wasn't scheduled to work, I got paid for that day. And then, but the advantage was when I worked lesser weeks, I still got my full pay. So it's that was the catch-22. It was hey man, yes, I work a lot of time, but when I don't work a lot of time, I still get paid for it. So it balances itself out. Yeah. And every single employee that worked under me, that worked over 40 in a week, they got time and a half. And you talk to half of them, they were like, yeah, man, sign me up. I want it. Because they knew they were going to make a lot of money. And that's where it comes into. It's the thing of it is we want these great games. We want these amazing games. We want all this stuff, but we don't want to pay for it. And it's okay, so you want every game to be like Fortnite, where it's free, and we cram it with a bunch of stuff, but you don't want to compensate the people to get there. And it's you're going to sacrifice and hurt the people that you're trying to protect. We're mad at Rockstar for no reason at all, because we don't know what's going on there. One guy in an interview, they take a one sentence out of an entire interview, and that's what Rockstar is now all of a sudden. And it's my understanding, they've always been praised as being a great employer. Every time I've read interviews, or every time I've read articles in the past, they're one of the best at what they do. You know what I mean? And my anything that I've ever read was they were one of the best employers in the gaming industry to work for. And now all of a sudden they're not. They're the villains, and it's and the one that really upset me was I read a tweet from Andrea Renee, and I like Andrea Renee, I really do, and she was just this is ridiculous. This is uncalled for. Rockstar needs to do better. Hashtag or Rockstar can hire more employees, and I'm what are you talking about? Like, you probably read a tweet with a blurb on it, because that's what she did. She retweeted someone's tweet. It's like, man, do some research.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Like, there's not that many journalists in the industry, like, where people actually go to places, find out all the information, and report on it, the facts, you know. People, like, the games media just love taking these snippets and blowing them out of proportion and getting the clicks and, like, spreading it. Like, it happens with a lot of things.
Yeah, I know, but but my thing is, get the information first. Yeah. Then, once you have all the information, all the facts, then we could vilify. You immediately start the attack without knowing. And now look, now employees that love their job, love working for Rockstar, you're jeopardizing them. Because now what happens if this game doesn't sell well? They're in trouble. They spent, 7-8 years on this game? Right?
This game will sell well regardless.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Let's say these idiots.
Was an little independent company or something, and the same thing happened, then their jobs would literally be at risk.
Let's say these idiots get what they want, right? And this massive boycott goes on, and the game doesn't sell. We know it will, but let's say it doesn't, right? Now you have a company that put all this time and energy into this game, and it doesn't sell well. Now what happens? Now they're in trouble. And it's like, come on, man. Like, stop reading snippets and stuff and making these massive decisions based upon it and going like, this is it. This is the way it has to be. It's black and white. And it's like, no, talk to the people first. Find out what's really going on. And if he's like a co-writer, it's kind of like same thing with Last of Us and Uncharted. I'm sure they have crazy crunches, but it's basically the higher-ups that are doing it.
Yeah. And a game like this, like the writing team has to go over so much dialogue.
Yeah.
Like the choices, the interactions, the plot. There's just so much to a game this big.
Yeah.
That it's no wonder that they have to spend that extra time towards the end. Like, you know, and I'm sure it's not for long anyway.
My thing is, Rockstar, stop spending 100 hours a week on dumb games like Red Dead and start working on porting GTA 5 to the Nintendo Switch. Like, that's all we want. Okay. So, that was a news story that just got out of whack. I shouldn't have.
Yeah, got out of control.
I got out of control. Okay, topic times. So, my topic for this week is, like I said, I changed it, so it's a little different to what you're not expecting it.
I'm unprepared, Bobby.
You're fine. The Nintendo Switch turned 2 years old on... Well, no, that's not true. The Nintendo Switch, October 16th, was the 2-year anniversary of the official reveal. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And I want to talk to you about that reveal and just go back and reminisce about it real quickly, like what your feelings were when you saw the Switch for the first time, and did it transcend into reality for you in all of that?
So I remember we streamed it, didn't we? Our reaction.
Not that reaction. I'm talking about the little 3-minute teaser.
Oh, the 3-minute teaser. Oh, I thought you meant the actual. No, where they had the couch and everything.
No, not that one. The 3-minute teaser.
All right, so it started off with Skyrim, was it?
No, it started off with Zelda.
Was it Zelda? I thought it was Skyrim.
No, Skyrim didn't come around till...
It was in... I'm sure it was in...
Skyrim was in there, yes. But it starts off with Zelda. The guy's sitting on the couch, and he's playing, you hear the horses and stuff, and then it zooms in. And then he picks it up and takes it to the park or whatever.
Yeah. And there's NBA at the park and everything. Yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, I remember being real excited. I mean, there were so many rumors before that of what it was. Yeah. So we kind of knew going in that... it was going to be this hybrid device.
But we didn't know what that meant, and that was the thing.
Not really, but, like, it was just cool seeing it work. Like, the speed of going from the TV to the handheld, like, and vice versa, was pretty amazing. Yeah. Like, never seen anything like that before. And, you thought, oh, how could they possibly get the Wii U graphics, PlayStation 3 graphics, on a little tablet device like this and being able to take it anywhere? And it was exciting. And I think that these past couple of years, it's proven to be actually better than what that trailer portrayed. You know, with all the third party support, the thousands of indie games that are appearing on it. It's blossomed into a very vibrant Nintendo system. Like the Wii U was a major flop, and we were like worried as Nintendo fans, like, are Nintendo going to be around for another generation? So you know, it's really cool to see how that's sort of happened, how Nintendo's transformed their fortunes like that.
I think the thing too, for me, I remember. Because immediately afterwards, all the rumors started. And part of the rumors were it wasn't actually gameplay footage on the actual tablet.
Well, yeah. And people were doing those things where they proved that it was like edited footage onto the screen.
Yeah.
And then the guy was interviewed who was at the... it was like they were sitting in a circle, like a group of friends.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, like they just had this system. And he said, like, obviously they didn't really know what it was. Like they were showed, because it's like way before anyone else knew about it. Like, of course they're not going to just give them a working device, you know, but why were people worried about that really? Because
the thing of it is the other thing that happened was they were showing Skyrim. Right?
Yeah.
And they were showing NBA, and they were showing another game at the time. And people were like, well, wait a minute. Does this mean that those games aren't really coming? And Bethesda was real like, well, this isn't really guaranteed that it's coming.
It was shady, because people were like, is this the just a port of the original Skyrim, or is this the remaster with the prettier graphics? And it was like lots of questions like that at the time. And
Pretty
I'm sure,
amazing.
like, at that time, the third-party developers, they didn't know if it was going to be a success. They didn't know that they really wanted to have their games on it. And I think that they were just hedging their bets a little, like just putting this footage on there, because it takes a while for them to see how a game can actually run on something. It's all right announcing it, but getting it to run on it, like, that's another thing, really.
Yeah, I agree. And for me, I feel like it has transcended itself. Like what it originally was supposed to be to now, it's followed through perfectly. Like what they said.
Absolutely.
And the thing of it is, man, like, I mean, just this week they just released Dark Souls. And it's like, I never expected. Number one, I never expected a Dark Souls game on a Nintendo.
Have you seen the advert for it? I don't know if it's the same advert in the States as over here, but there's a guy laying on a couch and he's just playing Dark Souls on his Switch, and he's getting so annoyed because he keeps losing over and over and over, and he's just frustrated, and he's like shaking his hands with the console in it. And then, like, towards the end, he beats a boss, and he's so proud of himself. He's so happy. And it's like, that is the story of Dark Souls. You're overcoming these trials. And it's so weird seeing that as a Nintendo advert.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so mature, it's so different for Nintendo to have something like that that's like, you know, usually Nintendo are like, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Let's play Mario Kart. We're all having a party. Everyone's smiling. But no, this is like, he's grimacing. He's angry.
Yeah.
But like, that is what Dark Souls is. And it's really cool to see Nintendo embracing that.
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude. I love it. I love it. What do you have for a topic for us?
All right. So this has been on my mind a lot over the past year or so. This whole microtransactions affecting game design. And it's kind of like just come to a head for me now. Like the new Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it turns out there's a $10 microtransaction. Like $10 is not really micro, is it? But you can pay $10 for this thing in the game that basically doubles the amount of experience points you get, and it doubles the amount of gold that you get in game. And you know,
Assassin's Creed
Odyssey, the latest one set in Greece. And it's just awful because these people are reviewing the game, and they're saying that it's grindy, and there's like level caps to certain missions, and to advance the game you have to be a specific level. And basically they've designed the game in such a way that they are encouraging players to pay that extra $10 just to play the game how it should really just have been designed in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's just, I hate it so much. The way people are like, oh, the games cost so much to make now. Like they're making excuses. Like these companies need to have things like this, these silly microtransactions to be able to make a profit. And that's not true anyway. I mean, there's a guy called Jim Sterling, and he does this thing called the Jimquisition, and he's on YouTube, and he basically breaks down that whole argument of games are too expensive to make. And you should just go and check his videos out because he's really good at stuff like that. But anyway, how do you feel about that? That the developers are designing the games to make them less enjoyable unless you pay them extra money?
I feel like a company like Ubisoft gets top dollar on their games. Like, okay, like I was a little taken aback by Starlink, right? So I go to the store, I'm going to buy Starlink, $74.
That's a lot, man.
It is a lot. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, it comes with a toy. I'm like, but I really don't give a damn about the toy.
Yeah, you don't need the toy to play it.
No, and I'm like, it might be kind of cool to have the toy sitting on the shelf. So maybe, I still haven't bought it. I'm debating it still going back and forth in my head. And so I'm like, I don't know, maybe, whatever. And then I was messing around the other day, and I went to the eShop, and I saw it in there. And then, so on top of the $74, there's another $20 for a season pass. And it's like, man, wait a minute. So you're hitting me for $70, and then you're already hitting me. You want to hit me for another $20 for a season pass when A, I don't know what it is, and B, it's like, why? Why is this not just? Why are you not just putting this stuff in the game? It's kind of like the DLC thing where they make stuff and it's like, well, we're holding content back. Because we want to have DLC to charge you more money later on, and it's like, no, and Ubisoft is the biggest, person that does this all the time. Like,
I think EA are just as bad.
Well, no, but Ubisoft always does it. They always do it. Every single game, like, dude, they did it with Mario Rabbids. There was a season pass involved, and it was like,
yeah, there was, and you know what? I even Zelda does it.
Zelda did it too. And honestly, that they even said later on that first pack that came out, they originally wanted that in the game, but they knew they would have to delay the game 6 months in order to do it, so they said no. Yeah. Like the footsteps and all that stuff, and it's like, man, that's just ridiculous to me.
It is ridiculous because things like that should have been rolled out as a free update if they were going to do that anyway. Yeah. But they include it like the master mode and stuff. Like. Yeah.
So when I look at companies trying to do like microtransactions to like make you better in the game or to improve things and stuff, and it's just like, no, man, why would you make the game less enjoyable for me unless I paid you an extra $10?
Yeah,
just put it in the game and charge me more money for the game.
Yeah,
just go, you know what, this game is massive, it took a lot. Like, you look at that game, right? And you look at what that game accomplishes, right? And it's like, man, you can't, like, that game is a huge undertaking. So if they were to turn around and go, like, listen, this game was time extensive, like, it killed us to make this game, we're going to have to charge a little more than typical. Charge the extra $10 and put all that stuff in it, and I don't think a single person would say anything about it.
Whether or not it's worth that extra $10, I think that pricing shouldn't be fixed at $60 or £60.
Yeah.
I think they should be allowed to charge whatever they want, like indie games. Their prices are all over the place for those, and it, like you say, if Red Dead Redemption 2 is the biggest, most in-depth game ever made, charge a bit extra for it, like up front, like, and people will decide if they think it's worth that. But like changing the whole design of the game to encourage you to spend extra money is not on, in my opinion,
No.
because all those people that can't afford that little extra, they're having a bad time, like, in comparison, and they're not respecting people's time or their money. You know, they're thinking that, oh, these people are going to buy the game in the first place. It doesn't matter if the people that can afford it are having a better time. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It really grinds my gears.
Yeah.
Like the extra save slot thing on Metal Gear Survive, extra $10 for a save slot. It's insane.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous stuff.
Why, you know, it makes me think, like, people say, oh, games were better back in the day. And, you know, sometimes I think they were.
Mm-hmm.
You question whether it's just nostalgia or not, but games were definitely purer back then. They were more focused on design.
Yeah.
They weren't as money grabbing as everyone is these days. It was reported that I think EA had a profit of like so many billions of dollars this year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like billions. These companies are making billions, millions and billions,
Mm-hmm.
and CEOs are getting paid $35 million, and they say, oh, we can't afford to make the games, you have to pay us an extra $10. No,
Yeah.
just take a pay cut if it's costing too much.
Yeah. I think so. I look at this, right, and I go, to be fair, games haven't gone up in pricing in at least 10, 15 years. So maybe it is time to start charging $70 for a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my thing
But they
is,
can't, if they do that, they can't keep asking for more money.
I get that, and that's what I'm getting at, is if you're purposely holding, if you look at a game like Odyssey, right? You look at a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and as a developer, you're going, this game is really a $70 game. It's not a $60 game. It cost, like, we should be charging $70 for this game.
Yeah.
You should go, all right, we're going to put everything into the game and we're going to sell it for $70. Everybody's afraid to take that first step and go, we're going to charge more. I'll be honest with you. A game like Red Dead absolutely should be a $70, $80 game. Because if it's anywhere near the amount of content that was in GTA 5, dude, you get your money's worth out of that game. Like, come on.
And you get all the different special editions as well. It's so confusing. Like, Assassin's Creed Odyssey has got like 5 or 6 different editions. There's like the Ultimate Edition, the Complete Edition, and it's so confusing. You don't know what's the best one to get. Why does it cost so much? There's even these super mega editions that don't even come with the game.
Yeah.
What is going on, Bobby? Something's not right, is it?
Mm-mm. It's a mess, man. It really is a mess, and something's got to be figured out with this. I just don't understand it.
And I do think, a lot of the time I think, like companies like Sony with their first party titles like God of War and SpiderMan, they feel like complete games. That they had, like, SpiderMan has got DLC, but it's not like they're charging you $10 to level Spider-Man up a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Like, that's so shady.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
That's ridiculous stuff right there. Like, if you're gonna say like I look at a game like Fortnite, right? Well, Fortnite's a free game, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the outfits are like $20 for a costume, and I think that's too much money.
Yeah,
and I won't buy them. But But then I turn around and go, well, the game's for free. So, and they're constantly changing the game. They're constantly working on it. So if that's what it takes in order to do it, that's fine. I'll throw them $20 every now and again. But it's insanity to think, like, I mean, Fortnite's not then turning around and going like, hey man, if you want to, well, I guess they do kind of do that. They do that when you get closer to crunch time. Like if the season's ending, they'll go, if you want to do an XP boost, you can buy this and it'll advance you a bunch of tiers. But that's different. That's because I didn't put the time in to play the game the entire season, and now I want to get caught up and I need to do this stuff. But ultimately, like, I think it's, I think that developers need to get together and just seriously go, okay, we need to start charging a little bit more for our games. But we're not going to do these stupid practices in order to still get more money out of them. And ultimately, Toby, there's nobody to blame. Like, you can't get mad at Ubisoft. You can't get mad at EA. You get mad at the consumers. We buy it. If we didn't spend the money for it, they wouldn't do it.
Well, it's true we are partially to blame, but it's chicken and the egg, isn't it? Like, they're putting something in front of us. It's their fault for putting it there, and it's our fault for buying it.
I wouldn't buy it. I
don't buy it, Bobby. But I'm not going to turn around and say, "Oh, you're a bad person because you earn a bit extra money, you can afford it, and you value your time, so you're going to buy it." But I just think they should design the game in the first place that you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah,
it upsets me, man. I feel like my hobby is changing, and
well,
I think
the
game industry
It has been.
Yeah.
It's turned into a business a while ago, and I'm not really a huge fan of Ubisoft games. I know that you love them and you like to off, and that's that's not whatever. So for me, it's like whatever. I don't buy their games anyway. I do buy a game like Mario Rabbids because I enjoyed that game. But
yeah, great game. But
like Starlink, I'm questionable. But like a lot of the other, like Assassin's Creed, I never got into that series. Just don't do it for me. I don't enjoy those games. So it's whatever. Toby, real quick, do you want to talk about what you're playing? You playing anything new?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you playing?
I'm playing SpiderMan on PS4.
All right. Okay. So I'm playing. Okay.
Shut up! Oh my gosh.
What do you think about that horrible game?
I think that this game has got some of the most fun movement in it than in any game I've ever played. Being able to swing around as Spider-Man, it's so fluid and free and just fun. Like, you can be so creative with Spider-Man's movement, and the city is so huge, man. It's got all these different areas, and you can just swing from one end of the city to the other. And just the act of moving in that game is fun. And it kind of made me feel a little bit in the way that Breath of the Wild did. When you figured out you could climb anything and go anywhere in Zelda. That was so cool having that. And you said from then on,
don't ever compare Spider-Man to Breath of the Wild. What is wrong with you?
And the swinging in this game gave me that same sensation. It's like, this is like amazing. I can just run vertically up a building. Like from you don't even need to have momentum. You can just be standing on the floor, run, and all of a sudden you're running really fast up the side of a building, and that's just fun.
Yeah.
Like, I think they've really nailed what it is to feel like Spider-Man. Like, his moveset as well. Like, when you're in combat, there's so much variety to it. There's so many different ways to be Spider-Man. Like, you can grab onto things, you can shoot your webs, you can dodge and slide through people's legs, and you can shoot your web up on the ceiling and
you do that
dive kick people. Like, you kick someone off the edge of a building, and then Spider-Man just webs them so that they don't fall down to their death. But like, I don't know, man, it's just so fun. Like, I have a little gripe with the gameplay.
Of course you do. Wouldn't be a Toby commentary if there wasn't a little gripe about the game. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
I'm only like 4 or 5 hours. I've done a couple of story missions. The story missions are really fun, but like the general gameplay loop of, it's a little bit Ubisofty in that there are towers. Like, there's like little radio beacons on the top of buildings, and you have to go and unscramble them, and then that reveals a bit more of the map. Bit like Far Cry 3 did back in the day, and all the other Ubisoft games after that. So doing that over and over and over, it's a bit repetitive. And every time you do it, it unveils more of the map and shows crimes that are happening in that area. And it's the crimes, they vary a little bit, but they're all quite samey. Mm-hmm. And not only that, is it reveals backpacks dotted around on the sides of buildings in alleyways. And those three things, like radio towers, crimes, and backpacks, that's like the meat of the open world, as far as I know so far. Like, and it, you go around, you find a backpack, you do a radio tower, and you solve a crime, and then you go to the next mission, and it's all very samey, like over and over.
You're not making this game sound
so
good at all.
I'm just saying that, like, the act of moving from place to place is so fun. It's a beautiful game. There's details when you do find the backpacks, you get little bits of story and history to the world. It's like world building about Spider-Man. You know, there's a bit you go back to a lab and you can do some puzzles like inside the lab to upgrade your suit and everything. And that's a nice little break to the swinging, you know, a little bit of puzzle solving. So, you know, I think overall, I'm really enjoying the game. But I think they perhaps could have. I think, you know, I'm not a game designer. Like, I didn't work for them, but like basically, I'm saying I don't know how they could do it better. But I feel that there's smart enough, intelligent enough people there to make the general open world stuff a bit more interesting.
So
like a bit
you're
more
one
to
of
do.
those. Do it better. I don't know how to do it better, but you do it better.
I'm just saying that the general open world malarkey is a little bit samey after a while.
I don't know what to tell you. I started playing some Pokemon Y. Like, really getting into this game. Because I am so hooked on Pokemon Go. Caught a Mewtwo this week in Pokemon Go. Had me so excited, so happy. Me and Miguel are going to go out today, play some Pokemon Go, run around town. He just texted me a little while ago. And he's like, what are you doing?
Are you playing anything new, Bobby?
What? That is new, man.
You've been playing Pokemon Go for months
I'm
now.
talking about Pokemon Y.
You just talked about Pokemon Go. Oh, Bobby.
I started off by saying I'm playing Pokemon Y on the 3DS. I went back and started playing Pokemon Y.
You had one sentence, Bobby, and then you moved on to Pokemon Go.
Well,
You're addicted.
I love that game, man. Game is so good, dude. Everybody got to get it. Go get it. Go get it.
Oh my gosh! Don't
go
listen
download
to
it now. Go run around town,
No.
Toby. Do it.
Don't play a real Pokemon game.
I am. I play Pokemon Y.
Do you dress up like Ash Ketchum when you're
I
want
to dress up like Pikachu. I really do. I want to get a Pikachu costume and run around playing Pokemon Go. People would love me. People would love me.
You're
They'd be
insane.
Like, this guy is the best.
That is all. Thank you all for watching and listening.
That is all. Thank you guys for checking out another episode of Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru. You can follow me over on the Twitters at Nintendo Gurus. This is Mr. Toby Thornton. You can follow him at Toby's_take. My favorite dog in all the land, Yoshi Yosh. I love that dog. He is so awesome.
Oh.
So, peace out, Preston.
Ciao.